He created the Backstreet Boys. He created NSYNC. At one point he had the two biggest boy bands on the planet selling out stadiums worldwide. He was a music industry titan worth, he said, hundreds of millions of dollars. But behind the platinum records was a secret, one of the longest-running Ponzi schemes in American history. It lasted over 20 years, stole more than $300 million, and even the boy bands he made famous say he cheated them too. This is the story of Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman started not in music, but in aviation, running a blimp and charter airplane business in Florida. The business was troubled, and even in those early years, investigators would later allege, Pearlman was inflating his numbers to attract financing. In the early 1990s, Pearlman noticed how much money the boy band New Kids on the Block were generating. He decided he wanted in. He held auditions in Orlando and assembled 5 young men into a group called the Backstreet Boys. They exploded. Pearlman quickly built a second group, NSYNC, essentially competing with himself. Together they sold hundreds of millions of records. Pearlman was, suddenly, a genuine music mogul. Which made the lie underneath far easier to sell. For more than 2 decades, Pearlman ran an investment fraud through his companies, primarily one called Transcontinental. He sold investments in a program he called the Employee Investment Savings Account, pitched as a safe, FDIC-insured savings program offering attractive returns. He sold stock in transcontinental companies. He showed investors and banks glowing financial statements. Almost all of it was fabricated. The savings accounts weren't FDIC insured. Many of the companies barely existed or existed only on paper. The financial statements were prepared by an accounting firm that, investigators discovered, was itself fake, an invented firm with a fake name, fake address, and fake auditors, created to rubber stamp Pearlman's numbers. He used the credibility of his very real, very famous boy bands to reassure investors. Who would doubt the man who created the Backstreet Boys? And like every Ponzi scheme, the returns paid to early investors came not from profits, but from the money of new investors and fresh bank loans. Individuals lost their retirement savings. Banks lost enormous sums. In total, Pearlman defrauded investors and banks of more than $300 million. There were actually 2 frauds tangled together, and the bands were on the wrong end of both. The Backstreet Boys and NSYNC eventually discovered that despite generating staggering revenue, they were seeing shockingly little of it. Pearlman had structured their contracts so that he took an outsized cut, reportedly positioning himself as effectively a 6th member of each group, plus management fees on top. The bands sued him over it. So even the legitimate music empire was, from the artist's perspective, built on exploitation. The investment Ponzi unraveled in 2006 and 2007. As banks and regulators began demanding answers and audits, the fabricated foundation collapsed. Investigators uncovered the fake accounting firm, the fake savings program, the missing money. Pearlman fled the country. He was tracked down and arrested in Indonesia in 2007 and brought back to the United States. He pleaded guilty to charges including conspiracy and money laundering. The judge sentenced him to 25 years in federal prison and, in an unusual move, told him he could reduce his sentence by 1 month for every $1 million he helped recover for his victims. He never recovered much of it. Lou Pearlman died in prison in 2016, at the age of 62. Most of the stolen money was never returned. The Pearlman case is a striking lesson in how genuine success can become the perfect cover for fraud. The Backstreet Boys were real. NSYNC was real. The stadiums, the records, the fame, all completely real. And that towering, verifiable success made the fake savings accounts and phantom companies almost impossible to question. The reasoning was automatic: this man clearly knows how to make money, look what he built. Surely his investments are sound. But success in one venture tells you nothing about the honesty of another. A genuine hitmaker can still run a fraudulent savings program. A brilliant founder can still cook the books. The halo of one real achievement is exactly what lets a con artist sell a fake one. And the single hardest red flag to spot here was the fake auditor, because the entire system of trust in finance rests on the assumption that the books were checked by someone independent. Pearlman simply invented the someone. When the people vouching for an investment all trace back, somehow, to the person selling it, the independence is an illusion. And independence is the only thing that makes verification mean anything. Subscribe. New case every Friday.